couldn't get away with it. Battle caught, Moore again. Can he get the roll? Skip, kick, goal! Day, Nash with Panache. He's got Watson out the back. Wizard plays on and goals. Nick Watson, he opens up the angle. Struck it pretty well. Magnificent! Always had it covered, did the Wizard. Seamus Mitchell in a race. Gets there, collects, sizes up the opportunity. He might go for home. He doesn't. He goes for the sub. Luke, Bruce, down they come. Windhager, caught. Siren about the sound. Is this the rise of the Sam Mitchell Coast Hawks?
The Hawks made it back-to-back wins, stifling the Saints in Tasmania. 5 points, the final margin. Jaya was fired up, Amon was electric again, and the Wiz managed to silence some doubters in what was a very satisfying victory. It's time to unpack all the talking points from the weekend that was here on the Hawk Talk podcast. Thanks for joining us. My name is Nick Mason, and with me as always is a man who just loves when the Hawks get one over Ross, the so-called boss.
Absolutely. Two of the coaches I most hate in the league in 2 weeks.
You've gone back-to-back with your
Back-to-back.
most loathed coaches.
Yeah.
You got to be up and about because of that.
Now we've got Melbourne this week, right?
That would be your
Now
dream.
we've got Ken.
Oh, right. Wow.
They're all on the precipice. They just need a little nudge, you know?
It's the Job Insecurity Tour 2024.
It is a bit odd, isn't it? Like, we shouldn't have won.
Are you kidding me? We shouldn't have won that
Now,
game.
on expected score, we don't win.
Okay.
So we actually have won a game without winning expected score. This is wonderful. This
Hooray.
is a breakthrough,
I love this.
right?
Yep.
We were excellent. And for the whole day.
As a man in the stands, watching the game, I really thought we deserved this win. I thought we were brilliant in just how brave we were. A completely undermanned Hawthorn side. I mean, on paper, this is so far from the lineup that we would have hoped for. Round 9, we've come such a long way from pre-season when you've got Lewis and Scholl and Sicily and CJ at one point and Blank, and the list goes on and on. We are ripe for the picking heading down to Tasmania, and the Saints just couldn't do it.
My question to you, having gone, which must have been terrific.
It was.
Was the crowd loud? Because they got a few
Yeah.
Saints supporters down in Tassie.
Yeah, no, I think I first clocked it walking around Launceston that there were going to be some Sainters there, that's for sure. And I think they got just over 15,000 in the end. Good atmosphere.
So tell me, because we spoke about this, we thought the long kick into their forward line would probably be our undoing.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how we got away with that. I think it was superb by Sarong to step into the Sicily role. And
He had a couple of very fine moments.
He did indeed. I'm just going to look at 92.9% disposal efficiency, 14 touches in all. A very admirable performance.
Yeah, rivaling Frosty.
I feel like one of these weeks we're going to jinx it. If we keep on talking about it, Frostball is going
And then
Bloody Mary.
and then your mate Scrimmer, he had a marvellous day.
He did indeed. Yeah, I was very impressed with that. 16 disposals at 100% disposal efficiency. 7 of those were contested, plus 7 marks as well.
It was just a day almost embodied by Dylan Moore.
Yeah.
Of just grit and determination and, gosh, we lost the inside 50s and it's just, the day couldn't have gone much better for us. Apart from Ginnivan's miss, which I imagine had you giving tantrums like I did the week prior.
Well, exactly. That's exactly what it was. It's like, well, I've been here before and I hope it doesn't cost us this week.
Tried to kick the absolute bejesus out of it.
You couldn't ride it. I mean, 2 of the worst clangers, because I've watched much more than just Hawthorn this year. 2 of the worst clangers back to back.
Yeah.
I just could not believe that A, there was that sort of turnover at that point in the game, and then B, that sort of shank.
Now, I don't know if you caught it, but Nick Watson, when he got that 50 metre,
Yeah.
he sort of
a little
tapped
tap.
the butt.
Yeah.
And then Guinea was given a bit of lip before he missed that.
Yeah.
I feel like perhaps just
Shut the hell up.
hold that in until you kick the goal
Yeah.
and then give it back.
Yeah, you really got to time your trash talk, don't you?
Because that just came straight back again.
Oh, absolutely. And he can handle that, but don't put yourself in that position to begin with.
Yeah.
I thought it was a spectacularly brave performance, and we did deserve to win. I think the guy that's been much heralded and in fact was a medallion winner on the day was Karl Amon.
Yeah, terrific. And he had an opportunity in the final moments to score a point or score a goal.
Yeah, a little bit shocked that he didn't make that distance because
He'd only had 31 touches. It's a lot of...
Well,
711 metres gained.
Yeah, could he have gained 713? What do you reckon? That would have been nice.
So you were on tenterhooks right to the end, weren't you?
Well, absolutely. Because, I mean, he takes that mark and we're all in agreement. Me and my family...
Can we just herald the prescience of Luke Bruce to hold his own, find that...
Super sub. It's come full circle for Lukey Bruce.
Yeah.
I love that. But Karl Amon takes that mark, and me and my family are all in agreement. If there's going to be a guy to launch from 50,
yep,
Amon. Absolutely. He's done this many times. I just thought, oh no. Oh God. But we hung on, in part due to St Kilda being so predictable.
Yes.
That last inside 50, I wonder if they're going to try and kick to Max King. And then we have him marked with 3 players.
I mean, I thought we did awfully well on Wangani Malira because he's done some amazing things against oppositions, and we seem to stifle his creativity because that's what happened in the end. The Saints were so non-creative,
Yes.
so risk-averse, that it gave us our opportunities.
I thought we were much more dangerous and much more creative, and that just gave us the edge.
A lot of the creativity came out of Will Day too.
Yes.
Who didn't have a lot of it, but when he did,
well, he's ramping
Seamus
up.
Mitchell moving him up the ground.
Yep.
There were some lovely moments for him.
A word on Amon, 93.5% disposal efficiency off 31 touches is fantastic. 7 marks, 11 rebound 50s. That's 711 metres gained. As you say, 21 of his possessions were uncontested. So he got off the leash in a huge way. The other guy that impressed me was Jai
he must
Newcombe.
have done that all in the last quarter, wasn't it? Because obviously Ross couldn't get that message out. Shut down Carl.
That's right. Yeah, wasn't he running at 100% at one point? 18 touches. Anyway, Jai Newcombe I want to talk about. 31 touches, 17 of those contested. Led the Hawks for clearances with 8, 7 tackles, 26 pressure acts, second only to Connor Nash, who was best of field for pressure acts. Total of 28 there.
Did you enjoy Connor from the stands? Did you notice him?
Not as much as I noticed Jai, I will admit that. But Connor's picked up in form, which is good to see.
Beautiful pass to Watson.
I think Jai Newcombe is beginning to show that hustle and bustle and that flair. Like, there's so many times I remember thinking to myself, watching the match, there he goes.
Yep.
Like, he's broken away from a contest, a shimmy, a shake. It's just, it was such a nice throwback.
They looked a bit slow.
Yeah,
St Kilda.
at times. At times.
But the main battle for the day was Marshall versus Meek. And now last year, Meek got destroyed by Marshall in that first half, and then he responded. So he knew he had to bring his best game this week, and he was excellent. Even if he was probably beaten by Marshall.
Well, he was, because Marshall turned in an epic game. What did he have, like 28 touches? And just had a supreme influence on the contest. But, make no mistake, Meek was huge for the Hawks. A modest 12 touches and a goal, but it's the 46 hitouts.
Yeah.
11 more than Marshall. That's a great result for him. 5 of his possessions were contested, and he led the team for tackles with 8 in total.
Wow. I didn't realise that at the time. Also, his disposal efficiency at 83 is very good for a ruck.
Absolutely.
As Marshall only ran at 50.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Look, Marshall, very good player.
Yeah.
But Meek stood up, he kicked a goal. Marshall did not. It's a very good month he's put together.
Absolutely. We had a question from the one and only Dancing Bear. Is Lloyd Meek now our most important player?
No, I don't know that the ruck will ever be considered our most important player at Hawthorn.
No, that's an interesting point. Yeah, fair enough.
But he is. He's turning out some marvellous performances. And
well, and to that point, you have to at least credit him as being central to our fortunes at the moment. Like, he is absolutely a very valuable cog in this machine.
Definitely. And he went back as well. He provided some, what's the word? Height in defence.
Oh, funny that. Let's go from tall to small. Dylan Moore, you mentioned before. I thought it was a great game from a goal sneak. 2 crafty textbook Dylan Moore goals. Just the 14 touches, but 7 of those contested. A nasty gash on his cheek for his trouble. Doing the tough stuff. And dare I say, very talismanic. Tiz.
Yeah, as captain, wonderful effort. He did say, well, you got to get injured when you're captain at Hawthorn, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah. That was a quote, was it?
He said something like that at the end of the game.
Fantastic.
And, God, they were wrapped at that siren, weren't they? They were so happy to get that done.
A man that I was very happy with, Nick Watson. I mean, talk about redemption.
Back on the wagon, eh? The Watson wagon?
I wasn't off the Watson wagon, thank you very much. When was I off the wagon? I dare say you've never been on the wagon. I've been rolling past saying, come aboard, Tiz.
Get on the wagon.
And you've never joined me. But are you on board now?
Let's go for a ride.
Because the opening goal to Connor McDonald,
yeah,
that was a Nick Watson score assist.
It was.
So, look, 10 disposals for 7 score involvements. One of those score involvements, as I said, a goal assist, and he was on the end of 3 other scoring chains, kicking 2-1 himself. Meanwhile, he also notched up 3 inside 50s and 2 clearances. What a response!
Now, did you catch up with the commentary from the television?
Go on.
So he's lining up outside 50, basically.
Okay, this is for his first goal.
And Dwayne says, yeah, when he runs around, kicks it for
Yes.
50, and it just sort of goes near the post, but shifts back. Dwayne, before he's even decided to have the shot, says, do you think he's fooling anybody? And then he goes back and drills it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is why I hate Dwayne. And I'm so pleased that happened to him.
Bouncing back from the week before, he definitely had a huge influence. A huge influence from a small-statured man. It's good to see.
Now, I followed some of your messaging on Twitter today about Jack Scrimshaw.
Yeah.
That's highly concerning. And not appearing in the injury report, as far as I can tell.
So let's set the scene. And I was a bit coy about what to do with this, and you'll understand why. So in our DMs on Twitter, had a message from one of our listeners. And it was a photo that seemed to be an Instagram story of Scrimmer celebrating Mother's Day with his mum.
Okay.
And he was wearing a moon boot. And I thought to myself, well, that's not great, and we haven't heard anything about what that could be. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to, well, I flagged it, obviously, but fast forward to today, the injury report comes out. He's not listed on it. And I have people in our mentions going, well, maybe it's precautionary. I'm like, it's a moon boot. I don't know, is that a thing? Do you wear a moon boot for a precautionary or just settling an injury? I don't know. Watch this space.
Maybe they've gone with an old photo. That was Mother's Day last year.
What, to throw off Ken, you think?
Yeah, they forgot to have a photo, and he's just gone with that. Oh, yeah, throw off Ken. This could be 4D chess, mate.
Oh, right, okay.
Nah? Oh, I'm enjoying this now.
Look, I'm obviously not an expert in that field, but I would have thought a moon boot probably spells trouble. I don't know. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just now he has the week off.
That could be why they didn't contest it if he's in the moon boot.
Yeah, I dare say they thought, well, don't bother. Just give him the week off. He was going to take it anyway. So, this question from Nick. Am I the only one who just sees a young Sam Mitchell when watching Cam Mackenzie? His movement when he has the ball is crazy similar.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Nick is not the first one to observe that, and I think it's spot on.
When he first came into the side, I was like, yeah, that is kind of familiar. He can find space, can't he? The world seems to go by him at times.
Yeah. He's just very quietly coming along very nicely as a player.
But he's got those tricks where you can't tell exactly where he's going to go.
Yeah, he did some things right in front of... we're in the Northern Terrace.
I thought you were going to say...
Right in front of me.
Anyway,
I purposefully avoided it. Mind you, mate, that was a theme of the day. Right in front of the Northern Terrace. Some of the free kicks that don't get paid.
Yeah?
My God, and the umpire is on the spot. It's not as if, the umpire just didn't have a good look at that one. He was caught in a bad position and their backs were turned.
Which one are you talking? Any highlight?
There was one for Ginnivan. that was clearly around the neck.
Yeah.
And there was another one to Moore, I believe.
I remember that one as well.
Oh, there you go. I mean, and that was right in front of me where we were sitting. But also right in front of me was Mackenzie did some really nice things in the defensive 50, I thought.
Did he?
Yeah, when it was his time to go,
Yep.
he went. I thought he really held his nerve as well when the game was up for grabs.
And Deer sort of came back to the pack a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, second gamer, Deer did some baffling things, didn't he? Didn't he spoil Hardwick at
He
one
did, and Hardwick was like, "What the?"
That I thought about that moment for minutes afterwards, and I was like, "Nah, I can't really explain that one for him. I don't know what he was thinking."
He just wanted to impact the contest.
Yeah, a bit of a strange one. That one.
Yeah, I don't look. Moment got to him. Is that what we're saying?
Oh, I guess. Yeah. I mean, all players are capable of a brain fade every now and again. We've seen it. We mentioned Watson the week before. Sicily constantly has brain fades. Frost ball happens. Well, he does.
All right.
Noted brain fades from James, especially this year.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about the victory celebrations. What did you get up to?
Well, some good celebrations after the game, mate. It was nice for my nephew to go down to the fence and congratulate the players. I think you got to see Maury, got to see Punky, and it was just...
Is he taller than Watson? Your 5-year-old nephew?
He's getting there.
He's
getting there.
Yeah.
But no, it was really nice. And really great scenes after the match. And all I could think to myself is, I wish I could share in this with the Prime Minister of Australia.
Yeah, you wish you were down there in the rooms giving elbow the elbow, something like that.
No, he's perfectly welcome. And I know people would criticise it, saying like, "Oh, he's just he's a fake Hawthorn supporter. He puts on every other scarf every other week."
Yeah,
and look, he loves.
Did he know the words?
Yeah, he's a genuine Hawthorn supporter.
Well, there's that YouTube clip of him singing. I shouldn't ask.
That's right, the 2015 grand final. I think it might be the Corner Hotel.
I tell you what, this is Gowers going for the long game because he knows Treasury in Victoria skint. No point in getting anybody in the state government involved. Go Fed.
You got to escalate it.
Jeez. I was surprised he'd be even there in Tassie, Elbow.
Did you get to the bottom of why he was there? Because I didn't investigate.
Obviously, just for the game. I think the Labor Party in Tassie support the stadium in Hobart.
Oh, they switched, did they?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe that's what it's about. I don't know.
But anyway, the report is that Moore and a couple of the other senior players asked him to join. And
because, again, he supports Hawthorn. Yes,
yeah, well,
he's worn other scarves because he's a politician.
I might have to get my face out there so they know who I am. If I'm ever in the rooms, I'm going to get invited into the circle.
Look, a politician will be partial to a photo op wearing other scarves.
There was someone else in the circle too, which was Scrimshaw's best mate.
Yes, yeah, because of the connection with the
Miller.
Yes, yeah. That's right.
So that was nice to see because I don't think Scrimshaw played last year when we won in the Silk Miller Cup. So it was wonderful for him to play so well and be so important in the result. No,
absolutely.
that was a nice little thing to notice because he's been handing out that cup for many years before he came to Hawthorn and everything.
So with that win in the bank, I looked ahead to Box Hill and I thought, look, it's highly unlikely that I'm going to get eyes on this game. And if I do, it'll only be in passing, maybe.
That's because you're at the airport, you've got to fly back. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, even if that wasn't the case, I'm out with family. Like it's a trip away. I don't want to spend it in front of a screen, So
I thought you had the new Apple glasses thing. You can do that and watch the game.
Oh wow, okay, that's a new level of being antisocial that I
well,
wasn't aware of.
It's not antisocial, is it?
Well, I mean, it's playing at being social. So I'm not sure what you call that.
I don't know if you've caught up with all the new AI stuff from last night.
No.
Basically, Her is now available in real life.
Oh,
the
okay,
film
good.
Her.
Oh,
Yeah.
that feels good.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I like that for us.
And they can translate you on the fly. So you should see the share price for Duolingo. Cratered. But Yeah, but you could go with that. Soon we'll be able to watch every game all the time and be present in inverted commas. So you don't need to worry. Beyond probably a year away.
Listening to that, who's worried? Who can be worried about the world after you mention that? Anyway, I tried to keep up with the Box Hill Hawks game, and, we're sitting on the tarmac, we're about to take off to return to Melbourne, and I begin to stream it. I've been following the scoreboard up to this point.
Well, we got out to a major lead.
43 points midway through the second term.
Yeah.
And so I was across that, and by the time I was
Kavara
watching it...
was just going nuts. He kicked 4 in that time.
Oh, crazy. Kavara had a huge start to the game and was just on fire. But I'm on the tarmac, and I clocked the score, and I'm like, oh, bloody hell.
They're coming back.
Sandy's really worked their way back into this, and I'm starting to watch the tug of war that was the last quarter, and I had to put the phone away after Sandy nabbed the lead.
Because you were told to.
Well,
Go to the bathroom, mate.
I mean, what are they meant to think if they hear cheering from the bathroom? What conclusions can you draw from that?
You? You're not gonna if you're doing it in a clandestine fashion, you don't celebrate.
Oh, mate, that's just you get swept up in the passion, don't you?
It was a fantastic winning goal, though. And I have no idea what the Sandy guy was trying to do, playing Ringa Rosie with Horner.
I mean, it was a 50-metre penalty.
It was, yeah.
No doubt about it. But I didn't get to see all of this.
I mean, it wasn't really a 50-metre penalty. It was about a 35 to 40-metre penalty.
Yeah,
then he kicked it.
Didn't give him the full measure, even though, Backman probably really needs that full measure of the 50-metre penalty.
Horner smacked it perfectly. First goal ever.
Yeah, enter Stu Horner right at the death. The club's longest tenured active player, so says the Box Hill Hawks website. Playing his 50th senior match for the club, steered through his first ever goal to reclaim the lead and secure the win. Of course, I was oblivious to all of this until we touched down. I looked at the score, I went, bloody hell, we won! How did that happen? And just to see that story was magnificent.
Now you're burying the lead. CJ was unbelievable.
Yeah, his return from injury was a resounding success. It was only on managed minutes, but he made the most of them, finishing with 22 touches, a game-high 9 marks and 5 inside 50s.
And he spoke about how frustrating it had been, which it must have been, and that he feels that he has improved in other areas in his time out of the game.
Yeah, very encouraging indeed, and a good story to have him reflect on that and feel upbeat.
Yeah.
I thought it was very inspiring.
Josh Ward, 27 touches, 2 rebound 50s, and an equal game-high 6 inside 50s, 8 marks, and an equal game-high 7 clearances.
So there's a guy who's responded to being dropped and wants to find a way to squeeze back into the senior side. Whether it happens this week, I don't know about that.
Okay.
You want him in the side?
I do. I don't want him to become a VFL footballer. I think I'm sort of harking back to Malthouse and maybe Ross Lyon, in that if you play too many VFL games, you become a VFL grade player.
Yeah, look, I don't object to the idea, but who do you take out? Do you want to withdraw, say, Mackenzie for him?
No.
Okay, then who?
I hadn't really thought about that. But I want him playing. You get one of the older fellas, pull him out, don't mind.
But this is a nice conundrum that we're starting to have now. Selection headaches. As our injury list sort of diminishes a bit, we have these problems. I want to mention Cal Brown, who racked up a game-high 28 touches, as well as a game-high 8 rebound 50s, 8 marks and 4 tackles. I mean, this is a guy who, we've mentioned it before, really staking his claim for the mid-season draft. I think, I sort of mentioned it was a two-horse race, and I thought Hall might be in the frame, but Cal Brown is really putting his hand up in a massive way, and has for a long time.
Yeah, I'm not sure we even use it, but...
It's a free hit, mate. I mean, why wouldn't you just put someone on the list?
Because you get to fill it with someone at the end of the year.
Yeah, I guess so.
In the national draft. So I noticed Tim has put in a question because DGB's on his way back. He says, given that our last 3 number 6 picks in the draft have been Mitch Thorpe, Bo Dowler and DGB, should the club give serious consideration or serious thought to literally never taking a player at number 6 ever again?
So harsh. I mean...
Is it really? Well, is it really? I don't think it is.
Well, hang on. I mean, harsh...
The 2006 draft, pick 5 and pick 7. Either side of our pick 6, Mitch Thorpe, have both played 355 games.
Yeah.
Boak and Selwood.
I meant harsh in the sense that DGB literally just came back from such a long stint out of the game. I mean,
Okay, that far is harsh. Yeah.
I mean, look, he didn't have a huge game back from injury, but I mean, he's just working his way back in.
It's just funny how these things roll around, isn't it? Pick six just doesn't.
I know. I mean,
It's not just for us either. It's not.
no.
Pick six is a bit of a.
Tim's question, like this insight, is a valid one. I don't know what it is about pick six, but I mean, just fascinating. Watch this space for DGB for the rest of the year, right? Because I mean, in the Box Hill game, he was again a swingman. So he spent a bit of time in defence, a bit of time forward, and it just made me think of what I wrote in the season guide, which was that without that consistency, if he has this to and fro positionally and doesn't stake his claim to any one role, then I think he's not at Hawthorn by the end of the year. I think that we'll move on from him at the end of the year if this continues.
Right. He's still very young. I wouldn't have thought Hawthorn would pull the pin this quickly.
So, what, another year? Another year contract? You couldn't give him more than a year.
He wouldn't take it, I imagine.
Well, there you go. That's another problem in itself.
Yeah.
So
He's just not getting the opportunities that he requires.
No. And is he a defender or is he a forward? Can we make our mind up? I would say that he's more needed as a defender. But this constant back and forth between positions is... We don't get a good look at him. We don't... look, we're fans. We're not on the inside. We're not pulling any strings. But from the outside looking in, why would you have confidence in Denver as a defender at this point? You just couldn't. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem.
So... We're probably without Sicily. We're probably without Scrimshaw. No, we're definitely without Scrimshaw.
Yeah, well, make no mistake about that.
Yep. And we've only got Frost as a tall defender, along with a very, very naissant, very, very young Sarong.
Yes.
So are we going to see DGB? Are we going to see CJ? Probably too soon.
Yeah, Appleby had a question about that. Do we rush CJ back? I wouldn't have thought so.
And no, well, with all the hamstring history. And what about Phillips? And if Phillips does come into the lineup when DGB's available, how does that affect him?
Different sort of player, I would have thought.
What, tall defender?
Bigger body.
Which one?
Phillips, obviously. Come on. Talking about Shaggy here.
Yeah. Well, are they going to play Charlie against us?
I mean, they could. I mean, he doesn't look very good, Dixon.
No, he's a bit... He's aging a bit.
Yeah.
Then you've got Georgiades and... Yeah, it'll be interesting what they do. Gosh, they played well against Geelong. I really enjoyed that game.
Ends wonders if we do debut Brodie Ryan and Ethan Phillips. What are our thoughts on that? Brodie Ryan, no, not this week.
You don't think he's ready?
I don't know about that. I don't think that is as much of a necessity as Ethan Phillips.
I think he'd at least wait till after the bye. Surely Chol.
Well, Chol is a test at the moment. Reading between the lines of what Peter Berger said in the injury report, I would say that he is selected this week. Good. I would say that he's fine. Ned Reeves is a test. Henry Hustwaite is also a test coming back from concussion.
Did you notice McGuinness on the weekend?
I didn't, actually.
Did you see him with the ball at any stage?
Oh, I did. But in terms of impacts, I didn't think he was a massive factor in the result.
It was a strange game from him.
Yep.
10 disposals. And for a bloke that was really looking to cement his spot, it was another one of those lulls that could see Ward come into the side.
Doc asks, after watching Cats versus Port Adelaide last week, the Cats put the hard tag on Jason Horne-Francis after half-time, got them back into the game. Does Finn go to him immediately and try to lock him away?
So you're giving Finn a role and I'm taking him out of the side and putting Ward in?
I'm open to Finn being out of the side based off the Saints' performance. I don't think he was a huge factor, but there is a role for him, as Doc points out.
See, Horne-Francis was brilliant. He went back behind the ball. He goes back with the flight of the ball. Amazing player. I don't know. He's one of the bits of Port I like to watch. I probably won't enjoy watching him this week, but I'm prepared to do that, to give Finn that role again. But having said that, Finn doesn't want that role. He wants to break through that kind of stuff.
Another player that's out at the moment, Jack O'Sullivan, hamstring 2 to 3 weeks. Will McCabe coming back from a back injury, 4 to 6 weeks. James Blank obviously still out for the season, as is Sam Butler.
So Mitch Lewis cartilage is a factor in this, and they're just waiting for it to settle.
Yeah, I'm starting to get really concerned.
Why?
Well, this just keeps on drawing out longer and longer and longer.
But you know what's happening now. It's cartilage.
Yeah, but...
And he doesn't need a clean out. He doesn't need any surgery, so they're just going to wait, Nick.
I just don't know. I don't see the progress. It just seems to be the same thing over and over. It must be awfully frustrating for him, for the club. I know fans are frustrated, and I'm a huge fan of Mitch
Well, he was
Lewis.
just starting to hit his straps last year, remember?
Exactly. So...
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
Brett has asked, what is our best starting forward line when everyone is fit? 9 rounds in and we're none the wiser. Well, that's because they've had too many injuries.
Yeah, well, I mean, that has hit the nail on the head, but, I mean, Brett, the club's had their hands tied. They can't do anything about that. It's an unfortunate
They're prepared
situation.
to trade to improve our forward line anyway.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yep, especially the tall targets. Even though we started 0-5, is 10 wins possible?
Asks Aiden.
Goodness gracious.
You think that's a little bit too lofty?
Well, do you want 10 wins, Nick? You're going to be about pick 6.
Yeah. Oh, no. I was going to say, it does put us in no man's land. I'm not sure. I mean, I'd enjoy the wins while they were happening, but at the end of the season, where would that put us? I'm not sure if
Now,
it would be that productive.
Would you agree that we have got through stickability and pluck and adhering to Sam Mitchell's guidance, and that it's been a coaching performance and the players have responded by never giving in, and that we're not exactly better than the other sides, we're just more focused and determined?
Yeah, I mean, there's some truth in that. Are you about to present me with an alternative?
No, I'm just saying...
Okay, I thought there was an or coming.
Or are we,
There it is.
obviously more talented?
No, I don't know about the second one. I think what has happened here is...
We've met 2 teams that are in really poor form.
Well,
We've taken advantage.
They're perennial pretenders.
Okay.
The Saints and the Dogs. I mean, this is why I think Hawthorn's tracking all right at the moment.
Because the Saints had better pressure for the whole day than we did. They're very odd.
Yeah. The Hawks are in a position where they should be putting a gap between themselves and the worst in the comp, which they have. They're much better than
Can't
North.
wait to play Richmond.
Oh, exactly. I can't wait to have that gap
Twice.
re-established. Twice over, as you say. We're better than Richmond. And I think what we've seen the last 2 weeks, we've exposed a couple of pretenders. We haven't seen it this year, but last year certainly we snuck up on, some genuine flag hopefuls, Collingwood and Brisbane.
Yeah. Let's just say that they were upping their training regime when they played us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that happens. You get opportunities against these guys because they're heavily fatigued.
So Hawthorn's beating the teams that it probably needs to be beating at this time, and anything else that could come along is a bonus.
Right.
I think Port is a very timely test.
I'm just asking how much I can take out of these wins.
Oh, I think a lot. I think what I was going to say before, this is all off the back of the defeat against the Suns. And that incarnation of Mitchell that you derided, saying, well, the emotive Mitchell's no good to me. I need him analytical. But I think that the more that time goes on, what we saw was very authentic. And I would say that he's carried that into his approach with the players.
Okay.
They have played markedly differently, with a different spirit since that point. The Swans, we were never going to beat them. That was a big setback for that week. Mm-hmm. But we've got him back on the horse. No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. No, you're right. I didn't appreciate the emotional presses he's been doing.
He was upset, and I dare say the players knew all about it.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
That's what it seems like to me. So I think he's helped turn it around. Do I think that we're much better than St Kilda or the Dogs? I think we're good enough, and we're getting to the place where we can start exposing these teams that are frankly also Rans, but no one wants to say it. I don't know why.
Yeah. The fascinating part for me is Mitchell has engendered this determined aggression at the contest that I love, and it's across the whole group,
Yes, I agree.
which is fabulous for like credentials. You're looking to how well the guy does at coaching, and he gives everyone not necessarily a role that they're able to do, but they've got to meet these fundamentals. Yeah, it's wonderful to see.
Really top vibes coming out of Tassie after that. I you can tell I'm up and about. I enjoyed that win. And I've seen another win for the year, mate. You joked that I'd had my one against the Dogs. But no, I've had a double delight back-to-back wins. We need to get to some social media stuff before we wrap up. It really makes our day whenever listeners spare a moment to rate and review our show, whether it's via Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you enjoy what we do spread the word for us. Let other Hawkers know all about the show. That's worth checking out. We'd really appreciate that. Meanwhile, I've said it before, nothing beats being online after a win with the brown and gold community buzzing and celebrating the 4 points. We'd love for you to join us on our social media channels and join the conversation. We're on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And finally, we'd like to salute our proud, passionate, and paid-up Patreon subscribers, the people that love our show and support our show. You all make a very real contribution to this podcast being everything it is, and we do thank you very much for it. We're pleased to announce also that there's some new bonus content available for subscribers right now. Our exclusive May mailbag episode. That's available to stream right now. If you want access to that and a whole archive of extra Hawk Talk podcast stuff, do as many others have done and subscribe. All the details are at patreon.com/HawkTalkPod.
Now we're off to the VFLW, where we actually won again.
We won again. I just thought we'd end this week's podcast with another feel-good story. I mean, we had a win in the AFL, the VFL, and we got back to our winning ways in the VFLW as well.
We just own the Saints.
We do. That's exactly the story of the weekend. Box Hill Hawks VFLW 4-5-29 defeated Southern Saints 2-6-18.
So this was a strange contest because was there wind involved? What's going on here? Because Box Hill, a 1 goal at halftime. In the first quarter, the Saints didn't score.
Yeah.
Then they kicked 2 goals, 5 in the second quarter. But then they only scored 1 point for the remainder of the match.
Exactly right. Box Hill really had to claw their way back into the contest and ended up surging past the Southern Saints to win by 11 points because, as you say, the Saints didn't really do a hell of a lot after they put that buffer out. Our AFLW captain, Tilly Lucas-Rod, starred 30 possessions. It was business as usual for Tamara Luke, who dominated in the ruck. 29 hitouts to go with her 16 touches and a goal. What I noted, though, in a surprising turn of events, AFLW forward Sophie Locke was deployed in the midfield. Interesting little twist there, notching up 20 touches, ranking among the best Hawks on the day. She also registered a game-high 10 tackles. So, fascinating to see if that's something that carries over to the AFLW team in time.
Yeah, but also a little concerning that there were 9 shots to 8 shots, and the Southern Saints second from bottom.
Yeah, something they've got to work on. I mean, Box Hill came out with scintillating form to open the season. But you just feel there's been a little bit of a drop-off. Nevertheless, they're atop the VFLW ladder, and they return home this weekend to take on bottom-of-the-ladder Darebin. That's Sunday, May 19 from 12:05pm. You would hope that they get back to their very destructive ways.
What are you expecting? 20-goal victory or something?
20 goals. Well, I mean, from where
At
they
least
started,
10.
where they started the season, that wasn't out of the question. 20 goals could have happened. But look, I just bank the 4 points, I would say. Just get it done handily, build some momentum as we come into, I think after that there might be only 3 rounds left. Something like that in the VFLW season. Anyway, mate, we need to wrap up. That was a comprehensively good weekend for the Brown and Gold.
Oh, fantastic weekend. And you were there, mate. You were there. You picked the eyes out of the Tassie games.
I really did. Fantastic.
Now we play on Sunday, as we do for most of the year from now on.
That's right, yeah, the fixture has been released.
And then the following week, of course, we have the marble game against the Lions.
Yes.
We're not travelling all that well.
I cannot wait for that game. I'm a little bit bullish.
And then after that, we actually have a Saturday game. 1:40. I'm really looking forward to this. 1:45 against Adelaide. I'm very keen on that. I think we can get that result.
So as it stands, 15th takes on 12th. And obviously there'll be a bit of shifting between now and then.
Yeah.
But I think that will be a cracking contest.
Well, yeah, Adelaide have Collingwood this week, and then West Coast as a bye, and then us.
Yep.
But no, I'm really looking forward to that.
Now, before we get to the Port game and mentioning the fixture, is there anything in the fixture for the rest of the year that was just announced? Anything you're liking the look of? Because I reckon time for Geelong.
We're going to Geelong, are we?
Not expecting a
Well,
win.
that's a Saturday game at 4:30, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can.
Have you ever been to GMHBA? Because I haven't.
Are you allowed to go?
What do you mean?
Well, do they let opposition supporters in down there? 'Cause I've
Well,
never,
I mean, God knows there's
never
enough
noticed
room.
them.
There's enough room now. Do they need any more funding?
Yeah. Well, hang on. They've been having to look at that old scoreboard for too long, mate.
Oh.
They need all the millions to change it.
You know what? I reckon people suffering from cancer not had it too good for too long. Give the Cats another scoreboard, I say.
Well, we did the Labor talking point. We did the Liberal talking point. Well done, Nick.
Did we have that review that I banged on about said we were too political?
Yeah.
And I said, we never mention politics.
Oh, whenever. No,
Oh,
now
no.
the Kennet's gone, we've hardly mentioned it at all.
I'm going to hang my head in shame now. We've covered
He
the
doesn't
entire,
listen anymore anyway, we're good.
we've covered the entire political spectrum this episode.
All right, well, I think we should set that up. We should go down to GMHBA
Yeah.
and be thoroughly awful
Well, we don't know
to
that.
the
'cause-
grey-haired populace that attends.
Oh, as in us being awful?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can guarantee that. I thought you were talking about Hawthorn. Because, I mean, it's against
Sing
Geelong.
songs and things.
It's against Geelong. I don't have my hopes high for a win, but just imagine if we did, though. Just imagine how sweet that would be.
Didn't we win last time we were there?
I think we might have, yeah. Yeah. So, look, call me an optimist. I'm living
not
in
the
hope.
pre-seasons, but anyway. That doesn't count.
Anyway, mate, to finish up, what's your tip? We're taking on Port's different kind of opposition this week. They're coming off a very big win, a very impressive one.
Yeah, they're high. It's also very difficult for a team as young as ours to keep backing up. And I
is.
think that game took a lot out of them. And going into the final minutes, also the red time, we didn't let many goals go through in red time this week. That was, I forgot to mention that, but that was of great relief to me.
Progress.
Real progress. So, I don't know.
Look,
And I don't care, really. If they really put in a terrible effort, I will totally understand. But I
Okay.
don't think they will. I think they've got that tenacity now.
all right, well, I might be expecting a tad more than you because when we've gone up to play Port Adelaide in recent years,
Look, every time I write us off, we win. So I'm trying to keep the theme going.
Port Adelaide in recent years have destroyed us. And they've done it in the first half.
Yep.
Can we not...
Sound good.
Can we
this
not...
is really uplifting. I can feel the win.
Well, can we not let that happen, please?
Oh, okay. Done. Consider it done. No Scrimshaw, no Sicily, no Backman. But that'll be fine.
Anyway, regardless of what happens, we'll be back next week to cover all the action, win, lose or draw. Have we left this on a good note?
No, we haven't, because I just feel the realism kicking in.
Well, it's simply because we have better opposition this week. This is just facing facts.
Yeah, but they're also one of the great pretenders. And we've had two, and this is the third.
Great Port Adelaide Pretenders. Is that the... That's how the song goes.
We should get in the car now.
We'll be back next week, folks, to recap all the action, win, lose or draw. We'll see you then. We are a happy team at Hawthorn.